Credit to Bioware. I was expecting Dragon Age 4 to be bad. I was not expecting good things. But they've blown me away because it is so unbelievably awful from what we've seen so far that it's even worse than I could have ever expected. I thought that Dragon Age, now called the Veilguard, I spoke about the game a couple of days ago when it was called Dreadwolf. It's since had a last-minute rebranding. It's now Dragon Age the Veilguard. We've got the new trailer at the Xbox showcase. I was expecting this game to be a safe attempt to kind of take Dragon Age back to just being more of a general kind of RPG like Origins, but with action gameplay. I didn't expect them to go full Baldur's Gate 3 or even have tactical kind of fighting gameplay, but I thought it would be a pretty safe RPG that just tried to be decent given all the disasters that Bioware have had with Andromeda and so on. I thought they know if they have another dud, another stinker, Bioware's probably done. EA probably shut them down. I thought we'd get a pretty safe RPG. Instead, it feels like Bioware have gone, no, we've heard all this criticism in the game industry about DEI bad, all of that sort of stuff. We're going to embrace it, and we're going to show gamers what the world should really look like. And the Dragon Age the Veilguard that we're getting, it looks like some sort of weird Marvel Fortnite spin-off. And we knew for a while that they were actually building a live service Dragon Age, and then at some point that changed. I think EA realized, oh, hang on a minute, not every live service game is a juggernaut, a massive hit. Nah, you can go back and make a single-player one, but you're not allowed to restart development from scratch. You're going to have to turn this live service turd into a single-player game. So it really feels like this Dragon Age, it was a live service title. They very hastily at the last minute pivoted to make something that's single-player, but the remnants of the live service are still there. So all of the awful-looking companions that are in there, and I can't bring myself to hear the audio again. Everything about this trailer was abysmal. The characters themselves, the music, everything was bad, so I don't want to listen to it, but just looking at the companions, they look like they'd be right at home in some sort of 5v5 PvP game, some sort of live service, shoot 'em up, whatever it might be. Everything looks so bland, but it's bland in a we're dialing the DEI up to level 100, in that sort of fashion. And in some ways, I'm actually glad. And the reason for that is, given that this does look dreadful and there's not a chance that I ever pay any money for it, the only way I'm going to get any sort of entertainment, and that probably goes for most of us, the only way we're going to be entertained is if this is so bad that it's actually comical and funny. And because they've gone all in on the DEI stuff, it looks so stupid, so devoid of anything any regular, normal person would actually want to play, that I am starting to feel entertained. I'm seeing the coping fanboys who are starting to say, no, that looks incredible, it looks gay, it looks diverse, it looks fantastic. Of course, these people can't actually talk about anything to do with the game itself that looks good. For instance, they can't say that the art style looks good, that the story's sounding like it's going to be great. The rebranding from Dreadwolf at least kind of sounded cool. To change that to the Veilguard sounds generic, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. These people can't actually praise decisions being made outside of the DEI stuff, because the game, the developers, the game director, by the way, who refers to herself as a queero gendermancer, I think it's actually a he, my mistake, but that person is directing the game. They're hiring people. Who do you think they're going to hire? People who are on board with their political beliefs. All of this sort of crap. The only people actually positive about this game, they're positive for political reasons and nothing else. The game looks like a total dud. And people are starting to find even things that we maybe missed the first time that we watched the trailer. For instance, people took a closer look, and it seems that either their artists are shit or it is AI generated. And people have started to look at some of the artwork that's gone out. So if we look at the Dragon Age, this looks like a front cover or something for the title, the box art, where you've got all these different companions. If you zoom in, you notice that the hands look a bit weird, and that's often a clue that it's been made with AI, that the art has been created with AI. And we know that Bioware have had some layoffs not too long ago, and maybe some of them are artists, they've had to cut costs, and now they're not even really creating their own art. The box art cover, there's a chance it's been made with AI. Maybe this is true, maybe it's not, but to be honest, that is the least of their problems. If the game was actually good and there was some AI artwork, I wouldn't give a toss. But this to me just shows how talentless this team is. Anyone working there, the majority of people, it seems like, they have not been hired on merit. You get these people together in a room, this is the sort of crap that they come up with. And some of those copers, people who, oh no, I know the trailer sucks. Most people are agreeing that the trailer sucks. But you get these people say, no, it might just be bad marketing. Maybe EA is to blame. Come on, Bioware is still good. It doesn't matter that they haven't even released a decent game in like 15 years. I know there's a chance that this still could be good. And Redditors are gushing over this pick. A poster on a non-politically correct gaming forum is saying, and look, I've seen some of these screenshots, pictures that have gone out. They look okay. I didn't think they were anything special. But what was clear to me is they weren't gameplay or anything like that. I mean, one solid artist probably could have come up with something like this, and that's fine, but it doesn't mean the game's actually going to look like that. We've seen the trailer now. It doesn't give this kind of impression, a dark sort of fantasy look in any sort of way. Again, it looks like Marvel, it looks like Fortnite. And apparently there was some sort of leaker on Reddit who claims to have been a tester for the game, so this isn't verified. But you just read this and it sounds true. So what this person says is, I think that this game is more fun combat-wise, but the thing is I was never a technical player. So for people who are, it might be much worse. AKA it's not going to be like Origins. It's going to be action combat or something. They're trying to aim for the general audience this time around. It plays like the majority of action games that have come out in the past 5 or 10 years. I would believe that, because Mass Effect kind of went in that direction. It got even more and more action-focused. I imagine they're just going to do that with Dragon Age. Story-wise, it's really par for the course. Not discernible, better or worse. I personally dislike the dialogue. It's too modern. It's the Marvel thing that's happening to everything now, which always means it's the exact same comedy style of jokes designed to appeal to the lowest common denominator. I have a feeling it's to do with, we want to make this game available to every possible culture, therefore we've got to make sure the humor is lame and everyone can get it, but that means it's often just not funny at all. Everyone is a mini Varric, just non-stop quips and sarcasm, just typical for these sort of game studios these days. As for graphics, people are mistaken. I don't know if the trailer was made specifically for the conference or what, but the actual game does not look like that when you're playing. It's way more photorealistic than what the trailer suggests. Now, I actually think that may be true, because a lot of, and this is sort of insiders, industry insiders, but they're usually the sort of people who suck up to Bioware, suck up EA's ass. So I think what they're saying is true, but they're presenting it in a way, that's disingenuous. They're trying to pretend, the game's fantastic, the trailer just doesn't look so good. It doesn't look like the actual game is going to look when you're playing and controlling your character. So what some insiders are saying is, yes, you've seen the trailer, but the game doesn't look like that. Get excited. The gameplay reveal on the 11th, you're all going to change your tunes about this looking bad. This is an incredible game. What I think is going on is, a couple of years ago, there was a leak of Dragon Age 4 gameplay, and it just looked like generic action in the Dragon Age universe. The art, it wasn't distinctive really, just looked like generic sort of AAA stuff we see these days. It didn't look exactly the same as the trailer when you're actually playing the game. I think that is going to be true. So the insider's saying that the trailer and the gameplay itself not really looking exactly the same in terms of art style and so on, it's probably true, but the developers, the way that they see the world, they design the characters, they write the dialogue, they see it from the point of view of that trailer, where everything's Fortnite-y, Marvel, quips, the sarcasm, like these leakers are saying. That's what's going to ruin it. Just because you've got generic AAA graphics is not going to save this. The actual characters themselves, they used to be the draw to Dragon Age. You play Origins, you have the companions, you have the story, it was all pretty decent. That's gone. The trailer shows that because we can see who's designing this game. The people who work at Bioware, they're incompetent. They look at the game as a vehicle for their political beliefs, and they're going to cram all of that in. We've seen it before with Bioware. It's only getting worse. So don't be fooled if you see the gameplay in a couple of days and the art style maybe looks a little bit more realistic. Doesn't matter. This game is going to be a joke in terms of story, a lot of the things that you might come to Dragon Age for. It's going to be a dud. I will say, though, most of the threads in the first week of the game coming out will be about the tone. That's what most of the complaints will be. The tone and the gameplay, given it will be generic action gameplay, nothing strategic. I've played it. The trailer is astronomically more indicative of the tone of the dialogue than this picture. So people seeing dark fantasy here and go, oh, I bet the game's going to be like that. No. The tone and the dialogue, it's Marvel-esque. It's going to be like the trailer that we saw, which was awful. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a marketing decision. People coping, saying, oh, the trailer's just like a standalone thing. EA probably made it to try and bring in the Fortnite fans. The game's not going to be like that. Untrue. The trailer represents the game. Stop talking around it. I've played it, and unless they re-recorded the majority of the dialogue in a relatively short amount of time, do not get your hopes up. Graphically, though, you might be right, as the trailer wasn't stylistically indicative of what I played. Okay, I believe this, it sounds realistic, and we'll probably find out pretty quickly if this is true. We'll see the gameplay in a few days, then see if the actual tone, when we hear characters speak, if it's as awful as the trailer. I have a feeling it will be. Something else that just sort of reinforces everything going wrong at Bioware. We've got this person, for instance, and it looks like your typical female streamer in 2024, and they say, someone pinch me, 16-year-old me. I'm part of the community council for Dragon Age the Veilguard. It was a privilege to playtest and help the development team mold the game. Thank you, Bioware, for this opportunity. Now, if they were just giving this person a copy of the game early to promote it on a stream or on YouTube or something, I don't have a problem with that. I understand some fans get annoyed that some of these people get access to the game early, but I see that as a marketing decision. They just want to get more eyes on the game. That's a whatever to me. But that's not what this is about. They've actually talked about how Bioware got this person in to help the development team mold the game. And this is a person who tweets out, Dragon Age is one of the gayest fantasy games with some of the gayest fans I've ever seen. Anyone who claims otherwise is living in their own world. So it's another perfect example. You have the trans director of the game who's responsible for hiring, making these sorts of decisions. They're bringing people in who have the same political beliefs and basically yes men or yes women in this case, giving feedback on the game. What sort of feedback do you think they're providing? Do you think they're saying, gee, it'd be good if the combat was more strategic? How about some more choice and consequence with the RPG mechanics? Can we have a look at the structure of the world, the open world design? Do you think that sort of feedback is being given? No, it's there needs to be more DEI in here. I know there's one trans character. How about 7? How about 15? You can never have enough. Let's make it more gay. That's the sort of feedback that's being provided. And it's a Bioware echo chamber because they're bringing these people in. They're just getting people who are going to tell them what they want to hear. And it's just like the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff. Studios hire them because Sweet Baby Inc. just tell them, again, what they want to hear. They back up the same beliefs that the developers have. It's a pathetic cycle. It's why these games are awful, and it's another clear example of it. And even the fans, the people who are saying, I can't wait, you've got this person, Liz, Secret Forest Hag. I have quite literally teared up that I'm sitting here with my hands over my mouth, kind of crying. Joy hit me like a truck. And the Dragon Age Twitter, oh, we can't believe we're pleasing our fans. This is great. This is what we live for. Now, Liz, this fan who's excited, have a look at this person. Pronouns in the bio, describes themselves as a geriatric millennial. Not quite sure what that means, but apparently this is the target audience. People like me, you. We've been left at the station. They don't care about us. They're not making a game for us. They'll probably say, we don't want you. Don't buy our game if you don't like it. We're fine. But the truth is, there's unfortunately not very many geriatric millennials in the world. I don't think that Bioware are going to survive this. This is going to be a total flop. I don't think the gameplay is going to save it like some people are coping with. I genuinely believe this game will have no redeeming factors. The fact that their real first impression, a proper trailer, has been such a dud. It's got a terrible dislike ratio on YouTube, for instance. Everyone's talking badly about it. I don't think it's got any hope. It's got even less going for it than Andromeda so far. I think it's only going to get worse. Again, the positive here, unlike something like Bloodlines 2, which at this stage just seems to be so bad it's boring, it's barely funny at this point. I think that the Veilguard is genuinely going to be entertaining. It's going to be so bad that it's funny. Watching some of these fans lose their minds when things don't go too well, it's not successful. That's probably going to be the silver lining here, but we'll see what happens with the gameplay in a few days. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.